2019 is finally upon us, and it's shaping up to be a big year in the world of mixed martial arts. Chael, what are you most looking forward to in the new year?
Well, come on. I like the biggest battle brewing right now. Conor McGregor and Khabib Nurmagomedov in some way tag team partners, because what's good for the goose is going to be good for the gander versus the Nevada State Athletic Commission. I am looking forward to that. I do think there's some major gamesmanship going on. I also think Nevada has handled everything perfectly. I think from the very first night when this happened, and they were outraged and furious, but they said, you know what? We're not going to say anything, and we're not going to do anything. We're going to collect tapes, collect evidence, let some time go by. Listen, I think enough time's gone by. Possibly even time served, but we've still got a financial element to this, and we still got to get on with some business here so we can figure out what's going to happen with these guys. It appears they want to fight each other. Dana White has laid out a different plan for that division, with Khabib taking on Tony Ferguson in what we'll call a semifinal, and Conor McGregor taking on Dustin Poirier in what we will call the other side of the bracket, the other semifinal. I don't know about any of that. I just don't know if you can get these two maniacs together. I also think we're going to get more chapters to this when they go before California. And the second thing I'm looking forward to in 2019, Ariel, is the return of Brock Lesnar. And call me foolish, call me naive, but Brock is still within the testing pool. I think that he still wants to do the fight. I think the biggest problem he's got right now is Daniel Cormier being bullish on his expiration date of March 6th, and the UFC saying, we want to get you with Jon Jones. We'll save Brock for somebody else.
Okay, so that's very interesting, because I'd like to ask one of our odds maker friends if they could throw out lines as to whether or not Brock Lesnar will in fact fight in 2019, because I don't think that should be, the favorite, if you will. I would say that the odds should be stacked against that. I just feel like there are too many variables. I just don't. Go back to our shows in July. For some reason, I don't feel like it comes to fruition. Perhaps I'm being naive. Perhaps I'm being cynical. I don't know, but I just don't see it happening. It would be massive, but again, I'll say what I said back in Los Angeles Saturday night. I think the Jones fight is a bigger fight, and that's one of my stories that I want to see play out. Does the fight happen per our previous round? Does the fight against DC happen, the third fight? And which weight class does it happen in? So to me, I think Jones, DC trumps DC versus Brock, Jones versus Brock. I'm kind of tired of the whole Brock thing, if I'm being honest. I want to take a sort of big picture approach to 2019, and I'm really curious about the evolution of options in this sport, and in particular, one championship who really made a very strong push in the fourth quarter of 2018 to gobble up a lot of big names. Eddie Alvarez, Demetrius Johnson, Sage Northcutt, Yoshihiro Akiyama Sexyama. All those names signing with one in the span of 2 months. Who else do they want to sign? For the longest time, Chael, it was UFC or Bellator. That was it. Well, now we have a third player. And how does PFL do in their second season? So I think that there are more options now than there has been over the past few years, and that is great for the fighters. Free agency is good for the fighters as well. What happens with Cris Cyborg, for example? To me, that is the biggest story to keep your eye on. When you're looking at the big picture business approach of the sport, options are good. May not be good for the hardcore fans. The hardcore fans want to see everyone under one umbrella, but I'll say if you are a fan of fighters and you want fighters to be taken care of, you want them to have options.
Funny you bring up Cris Cyborg in the PFL, Ariel, because I think there could be a tie-in there. I know the common belief is that the most common belief is that Cyborg and Dana White will come around. Yeah, okay, I get that. But the other belief would be that she will return to her old promoter, Scott Coker. The only reason that I think that you should also consider the PFL coming to the table on this is because of Kayla Harrison. That could be a mega fight. In fact, that could be the most mega fight that the PFL has the ability to make. And I don't know that there's any other way to possibly get that done in this lifetime of their careers than for the PFL to step in right now and try to be a suitor for Cyborg. What do you think?
I think that would be a horrible mistake. Kayla Harrison is great. She's a two-time Olympic gold medalist. She is not ready to fight Cris Cyborg. Are you crazy? No way. She hasn't fought anyone even close to Cris Cyborg's ability. That might be, a couple weeks ago I said that you had the greatest response. That might be your worst idea. Now, she's 3-0. What are you talking about? 3-0 against Cris Cyborg?
Ariel,
what?
Excuse me, you were coming off of a dialogue of multiple promotions to be suitors to, quote you, take care of the fighters.
Yes.
The question becomes, who could use Cris Cyborg? Who could possibly bring her in? The UFC had to create an entire division for her to get this done. So to say that Kayla Harrison, who you've said many times on this show is the big star over there at the PFL, you've even questioned their business model of doing tournament formats and used Kayla as an example for where one-offs are so good. When I present to you that she could be in there with Cris Cyborg and you're just going to throw water on it? Come on.
Wait a second. Maybe we're not talking about the same person. I'm talking about Kayla Harrison. Who's this Kayla Harrison that you're talking about?
Oh, okay. Tomato. Excuse me. Kayla.
It was just too easy. It was the perfect way to get out of it. It was just the perfect way.
Low-hanging fruit. You took it. I understand.
For more Ariel and the Bad Guy, sign up now for ESPN Plus.